How Grant Cardone built his $2 billion real estate empire. What if the key to building a $2 billion empire was hiding in plain sight inside your mindset? Grant Cardone was not wealthy, well-connected, or privileged. He was in his 20s, broke, and struggling with addiction. With millions of fans and more than $4 billion in assets under management, he is currently among the most powerful real estate investors in the world. What did he do? Cardone's ascent wasn't an accident, rather. It was the result of a planned path driven by obsession, an unwavering work ethic, and a determination to accept failure. He revolutionized the real estate industry by enabling regular individuals to invest in multi-million-dollar projects, from developing Cardone Capital to becoming an expert in sales. One thing is certain: Grant Cardone created a movement rather than just wealth, regardless of whether you respect his hustle or doubt his exaggeration. He did it this way, step by step. 1. Lowly. Beginnings. Overcoming misfortune. At an early age. Grit and perseverance are key components in Grant Cardone's path to creating a $2 billion real estate empire. Cardone, who was born in 1958 in Lake Charles, Louisiana, had a difficult childhood. His life descended into addiction and aimlessness in his early 20s after he lost his father when he was 10 years old. He was broke, mentally spent, and full of self-doubt after going through rehab by the time he was 25. But this low point served as the impetus for transformation. Cardone pushed himself into sales and self-improvement rather than going on a bad road. He started up selling cars, where he honed his skills in discipline, persuasion, and consumer psychology. Later on, this sales experience proved to be very important in the real estate industry. His previous setbacks and hardships served as fuel. He frequently stresses that how you handle hardship defines you, not the hardship itself. He would go on to become a best-selling author, speaker, and real estate tycoon thanks to his dedication to personal growth. But it all began with perseverance, self-control, and a determination to keep going even when it seemed like there was no way out of the bottom. 2. Developing capital and sales skills. Cardone made his first wealth through sales prowess before rising to prominence in the real estate industry. He developed an obsession with learning, imparting, and growing the sales process. He gained a reputation as a top sales trainer while working with Fortune 500 businesses throughout the years. His best-selling books are If You're Not First, You're Last, The 10X Rule, and Sell or Be Sold. Cardone made millions of dollars from his training programs and consultancy work. He saved much of his money and only indulged in luxury later in life. He was able to accumulate wealth that would eventually be used as seed money for his real estate endeavors because to his diligent saving and financial discipline. Grant's early career served as the foundation for his 10X Rule philosophy, which advocates setting goals 10 times larger than most individuals imagine. He was able to take on big real estate projects while others kept small because of this approach. He established the financial basis to make a strong entry into the very competitive real estate industry by becoming an expert in sales and building up a substantial amount of cash. 3. The initial transactions. Beginning small yet with big ideas. Cardone started his real estate career modestly, buying a single-family home for $78,000 as his first transaction. Despite the limited income flow, he learned a valuable lesson from it. Single-family homes were not scalable. He decided to concentrate only on multifamily real estate after selling the house, a choice that would shape his future approach. In 1996, he made his first big investment when he paid $1.9 million for a 38-unit complex in San Diego. The remaining amount was borrowed after he put down $350,000. This transaction ignited his interest in apartment buildings and produced steady monthly income flow. Cardone recognized that multifamily real estate provided consistent revenue, economies of scale, and long-term renters. Apartment buildings have the potential to produce substantial income and withstand economic downturns better than single-family residences. Cardone kept thinking bigger, and each deal built on the one before it. He aggressively scaled his portfolio, refinanced buildings, and reinvested gains. Because of his audacity and willingness to take risks, he was able to purchase properties that others thought were too ambitious. The foundation of what would grow to be the multi-billion-dollar Cardone Capital was this strategic approach. 4. Creating Cardone Capital, creating partners. Out of investors, in order to enable regular individuals to invest with him in institutional-grade real estate, Cardone founded Cardone Capital in 2016. He understood that the common investor did not have access to huge deals, whereas affluent individuals and institutions did. By providing accredited and non-accredited investors with chances to invest in profitable apartment buildings and commercial assets, Cardone Capital sought to change that. Cardone gained the trust of his audience through speaking engagements, books, and social media. Through direct public offerings and crowdsourcing, he raised money in an unusual way using this trust. Since then, Cardone Capital has raised more than $1 billion in equity from over 13,000 investors, which is a record for the sector. Over 12,000 apartment buildings in the United States, valued at over $4 billion as of 2025, are part of his property. Cardone aligns his interest with those of his investors by keeping a sizable ownership share in these buildings. He not only increased his personal wealth, but also started a movement by letting others invest with him. His innovative strategy has changed the way real estate fundraising is carried out, and his company now competes with established competitors. 5. Making use of personal branding and media. Cardone's personal brand is one of his most distinctive advantages. He is a media celebrity, influencer, and inspirational leader in addition to being a real estate tycoon. Millions of people are inspired and educated by him through social media sites like YouTube, Instagram, and TikTok. Every year, hundreds of people attend his 10X Growth Conference, which is a masterclass on networking, branding, and sales techniques. Cardone recognized early on that opportunity is equal to attention. Because he understands that visibility breeds influence, he isn't scared to be audacious, divisive, or even controversial. His real estate company now uses his media empire as a megaphone. Cardone has demystified real estate investing and motivated millions to act by sharing behind-the-scenes film, displaying his deals, and chronicling his path. Cardone Capital has a competitive advantage because, to this media-savvy strategy, Cardone put himself in the spotlight, whilst the majority of real estate companies stay in the background. It was simpler to draw in investors, establish alliances, and generate a ton of social evidence thanks to this trust-based branding. His business evolved into a conduit between inspiration and financial gain, raising money while teaching. 6. Growing through reinvestment and strategic debt. Cardone welcomes debt as long as it's productive debt, in contrast to many conventional investors who are afraid of it. Debt is the new money, he has frequently remarked. He systematically uses leverage to buy valuable properties that increase in value over time and produce cash flow. He can extract equity and use it for new purchases by refinancing properties once they appreciate in value. This is a massively scaled version of the BRRRR approach: buy, rehab, rent, refinance, and repeat. Because they are cash-flowing assets in expanding markets, his deals, which are frequently large $50 million to $100 million or more, attract funding from leading lenders. Cardone makes sure that the rental income from each property covers its costs, and he continuously reinvests his earnings to grow his business. Additionally, he searches for opportunities to enhance the property either by repositioning, improved management, or renovations, and boost its net operating income (NOI), which in turn enhances the property's value. He has been able to grow quickly without compromising control or yielding lower profits because, to this aggressive scaling technique, is evidence that willpower, astute financial management, and personal branding can transform a person's life. It took decades of perseverance, self-control, and a resolve to play small to build his $2 billion real estate business. Cardone's message is obvious in a society where the wealthy get richer. You don't need to be born rich to build something large. All you need to do is think 10x. Let us know in the comments what you think about how Grant Cardone built his $2 billion real estate empire. And don't forget to like, subscribe, and stay tuned for more captivating content on our YouTube channel.